At the Frost residence, it appeared to be a normal evening. The business couple, Kirk and Rasheeda, had been balancing their careers and family life while attempting to keep their marriage intact. Beneath the surface, however, were simmering concerns about Kirk's devotion and Rasheeda's mounting frustration as the pair navigated the tumultuous world of reality television. Kirk and Rasheeda Buckner Frost are one of the few couples who have truly captured the audience's attention. They have experienced drama, love, betrayal, and ambition throughout their journey on Love and Hip Hop. Their once inviting relationship has now become a scandal that makes headlines as a result of recent events that have shocked their fan base. Although the incident would have made for an engaging television show, this was real life. The mood was charged as the evening wore on. A heated argument, complete with raised voices and nasty remarks, soon escalated from what began as a simple disagreement over everyday household issues. The noise disturbed the neighbors, who called 911 to report a domestic disturbance. The situation grew more tense when the police arrived at the Frost residence. After conducting a quick situational analysis and speaking with both parties, the police made the decision to arrest Kirk because Rasheeda appeared to be in a very distressed state, with red swollen eyes from sobbing. Fans who had followed the pair on social media through their highs and lows were shocked, incredulous, and terrified when the news broke almost instantly. The fact that the beloved couple was now embroiled in such a serious predicament was something the Downs had to cope with. With a passionate Instagram post, Rasheeda fanned the flames. "I didn't think I'd have to cope with this. I should be treated with dignity and safeguarded," she wrote. As the story unfolded, it became clear that this was more than just a crazy outburst. Rather, it was the culmination of long-standing issues that had plagued their relationship. A picture of her was included in the post, showing both her strength and vulnerability. The days following the incident were a powder keg of emotions, waiting for the right spark to set them off. Insiders in the entertainment industry began to speculate about the toll that popularity on reality television can take on people's personal lives. The constant pressure of dealing with personal issues while maintaining a flawless public image can create an emotional powder keg. Many fans rallied to support Rasheeda, urging her to prioritize her safety above all else, despite the disagreements between the couple. Some fans, however, showed unwavering devotion to Kirk, begging for compassion and understanding. They pointed to how much the couple had endured throughout their tumultuous relationship. The tension that simmered online and in real venues was palpable, and one admirer lamented the very public fallout of the situation. Rasheeda, seeking both guidance and comfort, turned to her close friends and family during this difficult time. In her quest for comprehension and healing, she reflected on her marriage's years, weighing the benefits and drawbacks of every romantic vacation they had taken together, each of which seemed to have been accompanied by a moment of disappointment or betrayal. The couple's relationship had always been a mix of highs and lows, but their journey had grown more complicated as their struggles played out before the cameras. While their lives appeared glamorous on television, the reality was far more nuanced. The public persona of their perfect marriage often overshadowed the struggles they faced behind closed doors. Fans and critics alike had witnessed their passionate moments on the show, but they had also seen the cracks that began to form as the years went on. Kirk, who was due in court soon, now had to cope with the legal fallout from his actions. The consequences of the incident loomed large, and the truth about his marriage had come into question. In the meantime, Kirk expressed his sorrow and confusion as he prepared for his court appearance. "I love Rasheeda, and I want to put things right," he said, his words filled with regret. "I know I've made mistakes, but I am willing to do whatever it takes to rebuild what we had." Despite his heartfelt words, however, many obstacles stood in the way of reconciliation. The trust that had been broken would not be easily repaired, and the scars of the past would take time to heal. Rasheeda, on the other hand, was left to navigate the emotional aftermath of it all. The public scrutiny, the legal drama, and the pressure of maintaining her own sense of identity in the midst of it all weighed heavily on her. With each passing day, she had to make difficult decisions about her future, her marriage, and her own well-being. As the couple's story continued to unfold, both fans and critics eagerly followed every development, eager to see what would happen next. For Kirk and Rasheeda, the road ahead was uncertain, and the challenges they faced, both personally and professionally, were far from over. The pressure of being in the public eye was something they had both underestimated, and it would take all of their strength to face what came next. There was much conjecture about what would happen on the day of the court hearing, including whether Kirk would accept responsibility for his actions. Would Rasheeda support him, or would she decide to leave him behind? The stakes were high, and the drama grew, reminiscent of the most tense moments in hip-hop and love. Rasheeda was adamant about prioritizing her own health and that of her children. According to those close to her, she was carefully assessing her options and thinking about what life might be like without Kirk. The tension grew considerably higher as supporters anxiously awaited the outcome. Their story ultimately served as a warning about the complexity of interpersonal relationships and the loyalty required in romantic partnerships. Beneath the glamour and sparkle of reality TV, the saga of Kirk and Rasheeda took on a life of its own, becoming a stark reminder that real lives were at stake. Despite the uncertainty of the future, one thing was clear: the entertainment industry had been rocked by the bombshell revelation that Kirk was about to make public. Kirk Frost stood behind the gleaming counter in his high-end studio, his face alternating between disbelief and seething rage. The weight of his upcoming revelation was thick in the air. With a trace of emotion, he began to speak softly, his words carrying the weight of years of frustration and hurt. "This is a reality I've been struggling with for far too long," he said, his voice steady but heavy. "It's not just hearsay, it's the truth. Rasheeda, my ex-wife and former partner, has embezzled $9 billion, million, from our joint ventures." He paused, taking a deep breath before continuing. "Her embezzlement of our money feels like a betrayal on so many levels. I trusted her, and to find out that she violated that trust in such a significant way is something I never imagined would happen." Kirk's revelation sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, adding an entirely new layer of drama to an already complicated and public situation. Fans, critics, and insiders alike were left stunned, unsure of what to believe or what would happen next. Rasheeda, already grappling with her own personal struggles, now faced even more public scrutiny. The studio, which once served as a hub for collaboration and innovation, now felt like a battleground. Kirk reflected on the early years they had spent together with a mix of sorrow and fondness. They had transformed their dreams into a prosperous company that branched out into fashion and lifestyle, and together, they created an empire in the music industry. However, the difficulties increased along with the company's growth. "I thought it was just mismanagement or accounting errors," Kirk said, shaking his head as memories came flooding back. "It was like watching a house of cards collapse before my very eyes when I found records of transfers that didn't make sense after initially noticing minor but increasingly significant differences in our finances." His decision to hire a forensic accountant to examine the finances only made the situation worse. The news was shocking when it was ultimately delivered. A distressing picture of betrayal was formed by the evidence, which directly linked to Rasheeda and included secret transactions and illicit withdrawals. The sight of those figures was heartbreaking, and he spoke again, hardly raising his voice above a whisper. Differing opinions on commercial matters is one thing, but this was blatant theft. Kirk's anxiety increased with every passing day as he awaited the results, his heart pounding. "I was sick," he admitted. Kirk thought back to the moment the accountant handed him the report. He could still see the glowing numerals that seemed to burn into his mind. As social media exploded with "Ashburk we Rasheeda" trending, the public gorged on every detail of the couple's turbulent history, which was full of love, passion, and conflict. Fans and followers of Kirk and Rasheeda responded with shock and bewilderment, seeing it as a symbol of dashed hopes and misplaced faith. "After investing all of my energy into our brand, learning that the person I trusted the most was defrauding me was a nightmare I couldn't escape," he said, his voice filled with disbelief. The escalating drama prompted Kirk to reflect on their relationship, recalling the highs and lows throughout the years. "This is something I never imagined would happen," he added. For Kirk, the pain wasn't just about the betrayal. It was the realization that the person he had shared his dreams with, built an empire with, had turned on him in such a devastating way. The public's reaction only added to the pressure, as both fans and critics weighed in on the unfolding drama. Rasheeda's fans, who had once supported her unconditionally, now found themselves caught between disbelief and heartbreak. As the scandal grew, it was no longer just about the money. It became a symbol of the crumbling of everything. The room grew heavy with the weight of their unspoken truths. The silence hung thick between them as they stood facing the wreckage of everything they once had. This is not the conclusion. It's just the beginning.